Hello and welcome to the video. Before I begin, I would like to apologize for not getting to everyone's alternative history scenarios over this spring break. I will try to finish them by the end of the school year. By the time this video is of release, it will be my birthday. So, the video is the top 5 funniest historical events in history. History is usually taught as something serious: wars, empires, kings, revolutions. But the truth is history is almost completely unhinged. Not everything in the past was dramatic or noble. Sometimes it was just weird, chaotic, and honestly kind of hilarious. Today we're counting down the top 5 historical events in human history, and every single one of them actually happened. And further we go down the list, the more unbelievable it gets. Let's begin. At number 5, we start with one of the strangest moments in military history. Napoleon Bonaparte, one of the greatest military leaders of all time, decided to relax after a campaign with a rabbit hunt. His staff organized a massive event. Hundreds, maybe thousands of rabbits were gathered and released for the hunt. Everything was supposed to be controlled, simple, and entertaining. But then something went very wrong. Instead of running away like normal prey, the rabbits charged, not one, not two, a whole wave of them. Napoleon and his men found themselves being rushed by an army of rabbits. The situation escalated so quickly that the hunting party had to retreat. Imagine that a man who conquered Europe defeated by fluffy animals. It's one of the history's funniest reminders that even powerful leaders can be absolutely humiliated by nature. At number 4, we moved to Australia in 1932. After World War I, farmers were struggling with crops being destroyed by large flocks of emus. So the Australian government made a decision. They sent in the military, soldiers with machine guns against birds. On paper, it sounds like it would be over in minutes, but reality had other plans. The emus are fast, unpredictable, and surprisingly strategic. They split into smaller groups, moved in scattered formations. They avoided most of the gunfire. Soldiers reported that the birds were extremely difficult to hit, and the campaign became ineffective. After weeks of effort, limited ammunition, and very limited success, the military operation was scaled back. In practical terms, the emus won. Yes, a modern military struggled to defeat large birds, and somehow history just accepts that. The Dancing Plague of 1518. At number 3, things take a very strange turn. In 1518, in Strasbourg, modern-day France, a woman suddenly began dancing in the street. Not in celebration, not at a festival, just dancing, and she didn't stop. Others joined her. Within days, dozens of people were dancing uncontrollably on the streets, and it didn't stop there. It spread. Entire groups of people were dancing for hours, then days, until they collapsed from oxygen. There was no music, no clear cause, no explanation that fully holds up even today. Local officials tried to solve the problem by encouraging more dancing, thinking it might help. It didn't. Imagine waking up and your entire town is turned into a non-stop dance floor for no reason at all. One of history's most bizarre mass events, and still one of the hardest to explain. Number 2, the Great Molasses Flood, 1919. At number 2, we go to Boston in 1919. On a cold winter day, a massive storage filled with molasses suddenly ruptured, and what came was not just a spill, it was a wave. A wall of thick, sticky molasses surged through the streets at surprising speed. It knocked over buildings, flipped over vehicles, and trapped anything in its path. People described it as if the city had been swallowed by syrup. Horses couldn't move. People struggled to escape the sticky flood. Even rescue efforts were slowed because everything was coated in molasses. The cleanup reportedly took weeks, and traces of the disaster were still being found long after. It's one of the events that sounds like a joke, but is actually a real industrial disaster, a literal flood of molasses. And the Papal Cadver trial, a number 1. We arrive at something that sounds like it was invented for a comedy, but it wasn't. Huh? In medieval Europe, a dead pope was put on trial, known as the The body of Pope Formos was exhumed months after burial. He was dressed in formal robes, placed on a throne, and brought into a courtroom. A living pope presided over the trial. A deacon was assigned to speak on behalf of the corpse, and the dead pope was formally accused of crimes. After the trial, the body was declared guilty. His papal decisions were annulled, and the corpse was later punished and reburied in disgrace. This is not satire, this is documented history. It is without question one of the most surreal legal events ever recorded. The idea of putting a corpse on trial takes historical absurdity to a completely different number. When people say history is boring, they're not looking closely enough, because history is full of rabbits, wars, dancing academics, molasses flood, and courtroom trials involving dead popes. It wasn't just serious, it was chaotic, strange, and sometimes unintentionally hilarious. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more weird history and alternative history stories, because reality is often stranger than fiction.